And how many times have we seen CEOs line up at the White House around a big table with the president to talk about the airline business, talk about the hotel business, talk about manufacturing in the United States? What's stopping the White House from bringing in these very leaders who are on our air every day to talk about this?
The answer is it should be done today, right? I mean, Ken Frazier, whom I think has been perhaps the most eloquent on our network, the CEO of Merck. There are pictures of him being next to President Trump and then pictures of him no longer being in the room. And I think part of that is because Ken Frazier's a man of great courage. But yes, I mean, look, I'm not the president and I'm not a political guy, but I do hear all these great speeches by these terrific CEOs. And what I would do is call them in a room and say, hey, listen, you know what? I have heard you. This is a different conversation. Let's get together and let's do something big, not 50 million, but 50 billion. But that has to come from the federal government. And I think that you're absolutely right, Carl. The meeting is overdue. But again, the reservations of anyone to mention President Trump's name is extraordinary.
Yeah, well, I'd be curious to see who show up at that meeting as well.
Yeah.
Jim. Sorry, Carl.
David.
I mean, you point out Ken Frazier. Of course, he decided to withdraw from the president's council. Remember that advisory council early on in the administration after Charlottesville. So, you do wonder who would actually be willing to show up at the table or not.
Right.
It is the president, obviously, but that's still a question.
But can we all admit that the federal government's the only one that's big enough to solve the problem? I mean, I love that the companies are all trying to do their best, but this is a big country. But we have a federal government. This is a federal problem, and it is requiring federal dollars besides just talk. And talk. I'm not saying talk is cheap. These guys are actually putting time in. They're raising money for the issue. But it would be fantastic if the federal government were to join the effort, because we're 50 states and no company. I mean, Brian Moynihan, it's a nationwide company, okay? Fabulous note today from Best Buy. Ken Frazier, fantastic. Steve Ballmer doing his absolutely best. Alex Gorski, nationwide company. But they're companies, and they have the right out. It's so great that the CEOs want to be involved. So what you need is to coordinate it and harness it and do something. But there's only really one person that can do that, and that's the president. But no one seems to say, and I am ready to meet with the president to get the job done. Now, if that's regarded as being left-wing or right-wing, to hell with you. I'm just saying, if you want to be practical, it has to be done by the White House in conjunction with these people.